Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Welcome to Your Average Nonsense. This is the first episode of Your Average Horror Nights. And Adam's really doing me favors by watching.
What's poppin'?
So earlier today, I figured for the first episode of Your Average Horror Nights, I figured we could do a little bit. I mean, we just watched a horror movie, which you can't talk about. But I figured for the first episode, we could talk about our experiences with horror. Um, Adam, what is your favorite scary movie?
Cats, the musical.
Horrifying.
Yeah, it was scary. The part where they were a cat and they did cat stuff. It it scared me, but like it also turned me on, and that scared me even more. So yeah.
You're getting a 5-second timeout. Go over there and think about what you did. My favorite horror movie for a while was Hereditary, but lately my current favorite horror movie is Halloween, the original,
Which one? Oh,
the original. But
OG.
the OG, yeah, the OG,
OG triple OG.
the OG,
Not H2O.
not H2O.
Are you sure?
No,
Are
no.
you positive?
I'm quite positive. You're still on timeout. um, uh, so what else? What can we?
No,
What
best
can we?
horror movie is Jason X.
Jason X has my favorite line in it.
See, listen.
My favorite
There's a lot.
line and my favorite moment
There's a lot
is
of
from Jason
classic-
X. Yeah.
classic horror movies. Like I remember one from my childhood, which was Leprechaun Back to the Hood. It gets me, like in there.
So Adam, do you remember the first horror movie you ever saw? Because I do.
I honestly cannot say. I think I do know. I think it was like the Amityville Horror, like one of like the first one.
My dad would like bring home DVDs from like work every, which is so funny. Like he would just get these DVDs and he would bring home, like, sometimes they were games, sometimes they were DVDs. And I remember specifically two. uh the one of them was Snakes on a Plane.
Yes.
um but the first horror movie that I've ever seen in my life was Freddy versus Jason.
Oh fuck, that's a classic.
Classic.
That's another one.
Yeah,
another one
and
that's just the best.
I didn't the idea of like a person killing another person, like, was such a foreign concept to me. And to see something like that on screen was like, it was one of those things where it's like you knew it was scary but you couldn't look away from the screen. Like,
I mean, I
it
get
was-
that with horror movies.
Yeah.
But not with Freddy vs. Jason. Freddy vs. Jason was a comedy.
well, it is
It was
it
a
is
comedy.
now.
That was
It
not-
is
No, not
it
now.
no,
It was
but
a
like
comedy.
even as a kid, like, because Freddy was scary, like, to me as a kid, like Freddy and Jason, like, that was scary
Freddy was hilarious
to me. Yeah, but that's the thing, is my brain never perceived that as a kid.
See,
Like,
here's the thing: is me like I used to watch, like, me and my brother and my cousins. We used to watch horror movies, like those classic, like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, we had the whole box set of Nightmare on Elm Street,
mhm.
and we used to watch that shit all the time. And fucking Freddy was hilarious. Like he was
Yeah,
jokes.
but
The shit that he used to pull, like what did he say? Like
now
when
you're
he
playing with power.
when he grabs the girl and he's
Oh,
like,
welcome to prime time, bitch.
time, bitch. Like that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
So then in the fucking in Freddy vs. Jason, it's hilarious.
yeah.
The shit he does and says and pulls off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just what's a
Yeah,
good one? I remember when he becomes a stoner slug and like
yeah.
possesses the dude, which is like just fucking
I
hilarious.
mean, we are gonna do an episode on Freddy versus Jason, but like, I to me it was just the idea of monsters. Like, monsters were so scary to me.
Yeah.
So like but then also like I couldn't look away from the screen
Yeah.
when it was when but I kind of put horror on the back shelf because it just but then again like I knew about stuff, like I knew about Poltergeist, I knew about Chucky, I knew
Yeah.
about
Like we used to like know because one of my cousins, one specifically Mitchell. This dude was like,
name drop.
yeah, he cousin, he's like 7 feet tall almost, and he was just one of those dudes. He used to
Yeah.
like, he used to love horror movies. He's the one who got us into that type of shit, and like it was just the shit was normal to us, and yeah, especially like fucking Jason and Freddy and like Chucky and all that shit. It was like, it was just funny.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, if you really watch the sequels and like all those like the movies that come after the first one, they dead ass are just jokes.
Yeah.
Like it's just funny.
So
You know.
for the longest time I kind of had horror on the back burner, not really like knowing of it, but didn't really pay too much attention to it until recently. I like by recently I mean like a couple of years ago. I seen like more horror movies coming out, and it was a trailer for Halloween 2018, and I saw that trailer and I was like, oh, like I want to see that. That was so yeah. Halloween 2018 was the first horror movie that I ever went to the theater willingly to see.
Mm. Really?
I was there opening night. There was a bunch of people there, and I remember being in the. That was terrifying.
Jesus Christ! Talking about horror movies.
Like, let me talk before you start no. Anyway, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by the ghost. um, yeah, before that actually the biggest experience I had with ghosts were Mystery Hunters and Danny Phantom.
Oh fuck off!
Wait, is that the cat?
No, I think it's the fire alarm. Like batteries.
Oh, okay.
Normally, that's what.
Anyway, yeah. So, Halloween was the first horror movie that I ever went to see. It was super packed, and I just remember being completely like enthralled with Michael Myers and The Shape, and
So wait, sorry, the OG.
no,
Okay.
no,
So that's when
2018. Yeah, so try to ignore that, but I remember knowing like the bits and pieces of the original Halloween, and I had seen like CinemaSins did a video on the Rob Zombie movies,
Yeah.
but I hadn't really seen them. And then when I got back from the theater after seeing that, like I completely went and did a deep dive of like all of the Halloween movies, and then eventually like I did like once for other movies like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street
Yeah.
and The Thing, which is
I
amazing.
watched
The original.
that.
Kurt Russell, you need to watch that movie for Kurt Russell and his hair
I
alone.
mean,
Like
yeah. But I was
Kurt
just gonna
Russell,
watch it.
aka Mac, aka like yeah.
Actually, it's funny though, because you're talking about like I actually just remember like I had never watched the OG Halloween. I hadn't watched that one, and I hadn't watched the OG Friday the 13th. It was literally every movie like after that, and like, you know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure I saw the Busta Rhymes one, which is hilarious. The Halloween for Busta
Halloween
Rhymes.
Resurrection. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched that one. I think I watched. I remember always never getting the chance, and always ended up watching like the ending to I think Halloween 2 Is that the one where it turns out to be like the little girl?
That's 5.
That's 5 even.
That's
Yeah.
Curse. No, wait.
It's like yeah.
Right, Halloween 2, Season of the Witch. What's the third
I'm
one?
pretty sure it's like the 5th one with the curse of like Michael Myers or some shit because
Yeah,
that's what happens.
actually, that might be
Like the girl gets cursed at the
his
end.
niece, or yeah.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
I know you'll tell me they'll tell me in the comments which
Yeah.
one it was. I remember there's, yeah,
I
there.
remember always like they would be playing it and then like someone told me like I literally just have this weird vivid memory of like someone saying yeah they're watching Halloween or whatever, and then I'm like oh okay I want to watch it, and then I get there and like the movie's like basically over.
Yeah.
It's that scene, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Actually, hang on. I want to change my answer. My first experience with horror is Niagara Falls, walking past the haunted house and hearing the Halloween theme song, but not knowing what it was.
Yeah.
But it's so iconic now that like I can hear it anywhere I go and instantly know what it is.
I just always remember going there and then like passing the Frankenstein house and being like, or haunted house and being like, yeah, that's pretty scary. I think that's my level or whatever. And then like you see Dracula's haunted house, and that it has like 3 different levels.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Yo, I went to I went to the wax museum and I got scared. So like I wasn't my mom was not letting me go into that haunted house.
I should have gone.
But yeah, basically this
You love it.
this show is going to be basically just me and whoever I pull and onto here, and basically just talking horror movies, whichever horror movies we saw. Um, maybe we'll watch the trailers, but we'll discuss them, how they made us feel, and yeah, just a good time, a good discussion about these movies.
I just remembered a movie that it's like I didn't see the whole movie. We had this DVD that had like snippets or something or like trailers or something like that with other horror movies and like big horror movies, and there was this one where I don't know why it kind of reminds me of like Sleepy Hollow, but like it was this chick who comes out of like a tree, and like for some reason I'm thinking of like Mystique, but she kind of looked like Mystique, but she was like a tree lady or something, and she killed people like that. And
Well,
I
okay
need to
then.
find that memory because
Okay.
it's really deep in my brain, and I just remember a chick, and she
Yeah.
kills people.
Well,
by the tree, and like the tree absorbs them.
now you know what the plan is.
Yeah.
Oh, that camera. Now you know what the plan is. I hope you will join us on our journey as we talk about all things horror. And yeah, let's have a good time having a discussion, watching trailers, playing games.
Monster House. Sorry.
That can be a suggestion. Yeah, you can let us know in the comments what movies you want us to talk about, what subjects you want to talk about. I know one thing I'm really excited to talk about is black people in horror. That's something I'm really excited to discuss. I'm hoping I have more people to discuss that with.
Yes.
Um,
Probably more black people.
more black people.
Caucasians.
You whiter than the couch. But yeah, I hope you will join us on this journey. On behalf of myself and Adam and the rest of us here at Your Average Nonsense, thank you so much for watching and have a spooky time.
Really?
Spooky.
That's what we're going to. I'm gonna go fix this fucking.
Let me be me.